Bobby Schneider here, joined by Sam Ojeda following Nebraska's bowl-clinching eligibility 28-21 victory over Northwestern after a 24-6 pitiful loss at Minnesota last week. Sam, just what were your initial takeaways?
I think the main key that I saw come out of this game was the fact that the offense was able to make adjustments. Bobby, you and I talked on Friday in the podcast that adjustments were needed to be made. They needed to run shorter patterns. And the Northwestern head coach, David Braun, mentioned specifically in his press conference after today's game that it just seemed like they were getting the ball out quicker, and I think that really showed in the play calling. And he got more creative as well, which we did not see in Minnesota for obvious reasons. And then, the offensive line protecting better as well really helps with that.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Emmett Johnson, 27 carries, 124 yards, 6 of which for 38 yards on Nebraska's opening drive. I really thought set the tone. Let alone that, Nebraska ran the ball 39 times compared to only 22 throws. I know possessions were limited. The Huskers only had 3 in the first half, but you could see a clear emphasis of sticking to the run, unlike what they did last week.
Yeah, they proved that last week was kind of an anomaly, at least offensively. Emmett Johnson was fantastic, I would say. He was breaking tons of tackles, but he was also being decisive with the way he was running, and he clearly came out a little pissed off there early. He had some very physical runs, like you said, 6 carries, 38 yards on the first drive, and like you said, set the tone.
Yeah, it's just incredible sometimes to watch him evade defenders, as shifty as he is. Then get to halftime at 7-6, Nebraska leads. Kenneth Williams finally breaks this one off. He had an 85-yarder at Maryland, goes 95 all the way, swings the momentum the Big Red's way, and Mike Eckler's unit once again does something to make an impact in a positive way.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And shout out to Eckler. His unit has been fantastic. Cunanan did miss the field goal from 44 today, pretty wide right. But outside of that, the special teams unit played near flawless. And so seeing Kenneth Williams do that on top of the initial return against Maryland that got him the scholarship, to see him compound off of that is really a good progressive sign to what the special teams unit is turning into.
Yeah, and then, of course, Nebraska allows Northwestern to tie it up. They go down the field, convert the two-point conversion. It's 21-21. Nebraska gets the ball back. Dillon throws a pick. So the Blackshirts are in opponent's territory. They get the stop, and then Nebraska goes down and wins the game. I think we saw that fight similar to Michigan State in a way, from what I've seen.
Yeah, and I got to give him credit because I fully considered the fact that Nebraska was probably going to fold this game. I predicted Northwestern in this game, and so seeing them fight and throw that punch after Maryland threw a right hook of their own, that was really impressive to see. And Dylan Raiola, that last full offensive drive when they went down for that touchdown was arguably his best drive all year.
I can't necessarily disagree with that. Nebraska's going to have its hands full next week for the Blackout hosting USC in prime time. Anyway, though, let us know what you guys think in the comments below of the Big Red's performance on this Saturday. Reporting from Lincoln, this is Bobby Schneider, and that is Sam Ojeda.